Yeah, live. Alright, that's all fixed and sorted, Beardie.
Cool.
Part 2. Now with more Beardie.
Yeah, so hopefully the server for our weekly stream will be good.
2.0 is the addition. We kind of built our atmospherics, or not atmospheric, our space fleet, Nova Charlie. So 2.0 is the fact that I've got planets and all that crap going, and we're building the transition fleet to go from atmosphere to our space fleet. It's a different world, different set of goals. Okay, it's the same goal. Build a ship while fucking live streaming, but yeah. You know how it goes. Oh. I love this song. I finally found some non-copyrighted music that's not the crap that Phoenix linked me. I swear to God, if I hear another song about Perseus, I'm going to shoot somebody. I haven't built the atmosphere fleet. I'm starting to build the atmosphere fleet. There is a difference. We just started yesterday. Monday I was not here. Monday I was in a freaking truck driving back from Salt Lake City. I'll tell you a secret. That was real fun. I can link it to you, yes. Later on, we're going to get Phoenix to work, and we're going to get a little ticker go that tells what's playing. Yep. Interesting. Space Engineers just crashed. I think I'm gonna have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. I don't know that I can do this 7:30 in the morning crap. Just don't work for me, this 7:30 in the morning crap. I gotta get up earlier. So what you been up to, Beardie? How's your week going?
Yeah, not too bad. Just trying to get back into the swing of work, really. Doing my daily vlogs kind of took over a little bit. And then Space Engineers happened, so... But yeah, otherwise, yeah, not too bad. Just making some plans for my channel, really. Decided I'm going to cut back on the daily vlogs and try and do weekly vlogs. I think it'd be better. Do some better quality content that way as well, instead of trying to rush it out each day. but I'd like to do a few occasional videos now and then when I feel like it as well. Obviously, I can't stream at the moment, so it's easy to release videos. But I fancy doing a few things like build tips or I want to do my events. You know, my events that I do. I was going to do a simple video that shows how to do it and why and how and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And maybe release it to the workshop as well, maybe.
Gotcha. Well, guys, this is why I was talking. I should probably be getting up at freaking 5:30 in the morning. My computer is deciding that it's probably going to crash anyway. I shouldn't have this issue.
Well, man, you got that RAM in there yet?
Yeah, no, I did. That's the problem. I shouldn't be.
Your RAM's okay now. It just keeps crashing still.
Driver issues. This thing is a Frankenstein of a beast. But that's all right, cause we're gonna run like it is going to run without issue. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stream. We are at Live 2.0, Build a Fleet. Yesterday, we kind of slapped this thing together, and I'm sitting here in bed last night going, that thing is a dysfunctional piece of shit. So we're going to go like this. It never happened. It's cool for an outpost, not cool for a main planetary base. So, I will paste it back in and blueprint it though, real quick. Yep, that was Firefox taking a dump. So, if I do disappear, we know what the hell happened. Maybe it's Firefox being ornery. I don't know. Ah. There we go. Music's back. Alright. So, we're going to build a new one. This time I have more in line of what I have. I have more in mind of what I want. I was sitting here thinking we have no way for ground vehicles to do what they need to do. We have no expansion or room for ground vehicles. That's no good. I was sitting here thinking, the larger ships, we probably don't need a landing pad for. They can land directly on the ice. We still need some sort of limit for them. Thus, this.
Connected. Channel switched.
Well, that happened, but I figured it would. Firefox starts crashing, and my computer's about to go. Hey, Beardie.
Yep.
Let's can I get you to look something up for me?
Yeah, sure. Something.
I need to know what. Well, okay. My stop code was driver IRQL not less than or equal. What failed was VMB.
Yep.
KMCLR.sys. Now,
KM what? Sorry.
Victor Mike Bravo Kilo Mike Charlie Lima Romeo .sys.
Yep.
the hell is that?
Got a few answers there. I'm just reading. A problematic driver, apparently.
Oh. Okay, give me a second. Hardware.
Maybe it is the onboard driver. Maybe it's not just going by this. It's saying that it's the
device manager. Nah, maybe it's NVIDIA being stupid. All right, so we need what is that? That's
check your device manager to see if there's anything there with an exclamation mark on first.
Oh yeah, check for bolos always. Computer, disk drive, nothing. Display drivers, just the NVIDIA GeForce. Human, no. IED, no. I can't keep on calling that an IED. IDE keyboards, mice, monitors, network adapters, infrastructure, ports, printers, processors. My Ryzen 8 core is doing just fine. Security.
The problem generally is when a driver uses an incorrect memory address. So it does look like you might have memory problems with you still. You might want to check your configuration and your BIOS for your memory.
Yeah. Except for I don't think. I mean, it's all default settings. There shouldn't be any issues.
Yeah, the thing is nowadays you can't get away with default settings.
Really?
Yeah, well, things are getting more and more complex, aren't they? They're trying to squeeze what they can here and there. And I mean, personally, my setup I got now took me about a week to get right, and I put it together as default settings. It wouldn't even start. I had real problems with it, and I had to mess around with the RAM before I get it to start up. And then once I got it started up, I had to change the settings so I could then put my extra RAM in it. It was a nightmare. And even then, the Windows Auto Boot was causing me problems. I'd be running the computer for a few minutes, and suddenly it would just shut down. And for ages I couldn't pick what it was. It turns out it was the Windows Fast Start. It didn't like my BIOS.
Okay.
So I had to disable that. Although ironically now my computer starts even faster with that disabled, so I guess my motherboard's got a better way of doing it. But yeah, it's nowadays things are so complicated now. The things you can and can't do in them. You can't just rely on default settings. But I'd say check your memory profile.
Okay.
It's called a VMP profile, I think, isn't it? Check that, because you need to check on your RAM. On packaging for your RAM, it will tell you what I forget what it's called now, but it will tell you what profile you should use for that RAM, and just make sure you're using that in your BIOS, and that'll be all your settings done for your RAM, and you should find you'll have no more address issues with your memory.
Okay. Well, the funny thing is the guy that, you know, we built 3 computers with this hardware. Mine, Griff's, and my brother-in-law's. My brother-in-law and I have been having issues, minor driver issues, quote unquote. Like, this would happen every morning. This happens almost every morning. Driver crash, whatever. But, I don't, you know, it only happens once, usually. You know,
I wonder if you've got a similar problem to what I've got. What I had anyway.
And then,
because if you just do a restart and it's okay, yeah.
Yeah, normally.
So basically, if when you're turning on from a cold start, so the machine's been off, you turn it on, and then within a few minutes you get the crash.
Yeah.
You set, it starts, and it carries on okay for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That's basically what I was having. Have you got Windows Fast Boot set up?
You know what? I might.
Yeah, disable that. I reckon that's what your problem is. Exactly the problem I had. Because the first boot of the day was the one that did it. Or if I turn my PC off for a few minutes and turn it back on again, it would happen again. It's that hard boot. If you reset, it doesn't use the fast boot, you see. So only fast boot comes from a hot. So that's why you get that problem. And that'd be why you're getting the memory address problems, because it's trying to load stuff into memory. It's not there.
Okay.
So disable Windows Fast Boot, and you might find your problems gone.
That works for me.
Yeah, that makes sense now. It's exactly what I had. So yeah.
I'm willing to give it a
I don't
shot.
remember what the error was. My motherboard shuts down when it gets errors anyway. I don't tend to see blue screens, so why that is I don't know. But
No, that's a bit of insight I didn't even think about.
I managed to get Windows 10 Fastboot working on a laptop, and then once I put an SSD in it, it didn't want to know, so I had to disable it on that as well. So, but then
Gotcha.
you put an SSD, it starts pretty quick anyway, so it might be SSDs, might be partly the problem.
Well, and that's all I'm running, so yeah, you're probably right. I think that's going to be the solution, is just to disable that fast start. And if I think you're right. Because the more and more I think about it, the more and more that just makes sense. Normally I know better. But shit's changing, I'm getting older, and I'm not keeping up with this shit as much as I should be.
Yeah, same here as well. There was a day that I could get any BIOS inside out, but nowadays I'm lost.
No, BIOS hasn't changed so much as far as its function. It's just they rearranged where shit is. Made some more stuff more visible.
Yeah.
Nova Charlie needs a suggestion for a good 1151 socket motherboard that's cheap.
Well, Google 1151.
www.google.com. Look it up yourself, damn it.
Well, 1151 boards, I don't really do much dealings with. It's more, you need to think about make rather than cheapest board. Think of a make that's reliable and then go for their cheapest board. That's probably the best bet, really. That's always what I've ever done. I work on makes. Sometimes I have a board and make, oh, this is quite a nice cheap board, I use it and then realise why it's cheap, you know. I mean, I used to use Acer Rock quite a lot, and then I found the quality went downhill quite quick. Gigabyte, I've always found never a problem, but if you get a faulty Gigabyte, because they do get a lot of faulty systems, but when they work, they work.
Asus is about the same way. If you get one that works,
yeah, Gigabyte pretty much it. Yeah.
They're solid. I haven't had a bad motherboard from Asus, but I find I'm probably one of the lucky ones.
But you also need to think about what do you need on your motherboard. You know, what sort of onboard audio do you need, if any, and that kind of stuff. Well, most come with them now, don't they? But yeah, you want to just look at it and decide what you're going to need. I mean, go to a site like, I'll say that you're not in the UK, are you? In the UK we use a site called Scan or Overclockers, and they're both really good. They give you all the data you need to. A lot of sites don't give you all the data you want to need.
I do go to overclockers.net. Those guys are solid info.
Yeah, they're down the road for me, and I love going in there. It's like a Toys R Us for nerds.
I'm jealous, actually. I've got a rage boner now. Thank you.
That's why I went to try out the HTC Vive twice. It was awesome. Second time, because then you'd already been, they let me do what I wanted in it, and I went on this roller coaster game, and man, I nearly threw up.
So I guess
it's one thing doing room scale VR, but then when it sits you in the seat of a roller coaster ride, going full pelt up and down these hills, I just had to hold on to something and try and breathe.
Well, I guess the question is the HTC Vive working better than Oculus, or?
I haven't tried that yet. They haven't, because they've actually got a license with Vive to sell them and all this and use them. They've got their it's a demo room there. It's a full scale. It's a full room set up just for the HTC Vive. And they don't do the Oculus. They haven't got any demos for it, so I haven't been able to try an Oculus yet, which is really annoying because I want a HTC Vive. But I mean, when I used it, it was great. Once you're in it and submerged, you don't think about screen door effect. It's great. You really do get into it. I'm aware that the resolution's a bit low though for certain games, and the sort of games that I want to do, I want that high resolution. So I'm sort of waiting for a better version, really. I'd love to try the Oculus to see if the resolution's better, but from what I found out, you know, through YouTube videos and things, there's not much difference between them. You've got screen door effect still as well. I have lately actually been looking at this new Pimax 4K. There's good and bad reviews for it. It seems the original ones were pretty bad, but they seem to have got their act together and they're much better now. But they call them 4Ks, which they're not technically, they're more 2K, but there's one per eye, so they call it 4K. But apparently it's very, very clear, but when you're moving fast you get a bit of ghosting. So I'm not too worried about that, to be honest, and it does look quite a decent headset, and it's about half the price of an Oculus, so it's a win-win for me, I think. So I'm thinking about getting one of them very soon. I just want to find somewhere where I can get one from that's in the UK rather than have to ship one from China. So, you know, I'd like to have someone I can take it to without having to send it back to China if something goes wrong with it.
Yeah, that would definitely be the thing we do here.
Well, the Pimax though, it hasn't got like full room or anything or head positioning. It's just got the rotation tracking, so your head's stuck in one place and you just turn left, right, up and down. Which some people don't like that, but for what I want to do, like, I want to do simulation driving games and like I want to try a bit of Elite Dangerous, that kind of stuff with it. That'd be fine for me. I haven't got the room at the moment to do full room scale, but when I do, I will get a HTC 5 anyway. But I want something a bit high res for sitting down games when you're in a cockpit, in a cockpit or something. You want that high res.
Yeah. That high res and the sitting in the cockpit is definitely the way I want to go.
But also the major thing about the Pimax is there is no screen door effect. It's very clear, it's really good. Some people complain that the display is not very bright, but there is actually some settings you can change in the config file to make it brighter, and a lot of people at FanAt fixed it. So other than a bit of ghosting and positional tracking, having to reset occasionally if it goes off, other than that, Pimax seems to be great, so I'm going to go for that, I think.
There you go.
And this has come from the person that's been using his Samsung Note 7. Yes, I've still got it, even though it apparently blows up. To get in my, I've got one of them cheapy Chinese Gear VR things. Plug it into that and use this program that there is. You can get, I forget what it's called now. It streams it to your phone. And I've tried Euro Truck Simulator in it, but the lag is unreal, and the field of view is terrible and all that. So it'd be nice to play a racing game. I want to get into driving games again. I'm not there for ages, and I'd like to do it with VR.
Oh yeah. And see, I'm looking forward to the VR for the, as you were saying earlier, the cockpit view of a ship. You know, I was actually thinking about getting a track IR system at some point, but
I used a combination of track IR systems using the webcam, and I got it working really well. The problem I've got is when you move your head, you've got to roll your eyes to the right to keep seeing the screen.
Yeah.
It's a bit counterintuitive. That's the thing that annoys me. I just can't get with it. You know, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, and that's kind of what is keeping me from buying it. Oh, excuse me.
That's where the Pimax comes in, because it's effectively track IR, but the screen stays in front of you. So, no, that's a win-win for me. That's what I'm thinking, and it's a decent, it's decent resolution. It's 2K per eye, which is great. You know, no screen door effect. Just reports of ghosting if you move fast. But I mean, if you're going to be inside like a cockpit, are you going to be shaking your head left and right? Not really, are you?
Not really. No, just rotating, looking around.
But I think I'll be picking one up the next couple of weeks or so. So when I do, I might do like a review or something. See what happens with it.
I'd be interested in seeing that. You're welcome, Nova.
Yeah, it's not bad though.
You know, that brings up the question, what happened to Nova Space Gaming? I mean, he's been very quiet.
I don't think I know that channel.
He's one of my subscribers.
Alright. Talking about subscribers, I've had a 100% increase in the last week. So I'm pretty happy with that. But it's made it worth all the hard work I put with these vlogs, but it's become ridiculous because it literally takes 5 to 6 hours to do a video for the vlog, and they're like 15-20 minutes long. And doing that daily, I've got no time left for work, so it's pretty bad. And then Space Engineers causing problems. I sort of streamlined everything so I can get the episodes out quicker. And then Space Engineer starts causing problems and makes you take even longer. So it's not good. So I think I'm going to do the weeklies. I think every Thursday I'll do a release video and sort of like what's happened that week kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Once we get on the end of week stream as well on the server with the three of us, we'll see how that goes. That'd be a nice thing, because if it's a really good server, then I'll be improving its performance, going for a higher spec, more slots, and we can start getting some group sessions going, things like that, you know, for subscribers.
Oh yeah. And then we'll be kicking ass.
Yeah, Nova, back to your motherboard. The one in your pre-built PC usually will be absolute rubbish. Pre-built PCs are just you know, they're made cheaply. cheapest source parts they can, so they can put more profit on top of it. It's always best to build your own PC. There's no exception to that really, and I'll even include Alienware. There's no point going to Alienware. Build your own.
Yes and no. The motherboard that is sitting in my wife's Alienware right now isn't all that bad. I mean, it's not, you know, the best, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't really mean like they're not good. They are good. I mean, Alienware match stuff, they match hardware, make good systems, but you pay a premium for it.
Yeah, normally. This one was a $1,600 rig, and it was the only thing that was really suffering is the fact that it doesn't have all the hard drive space that I have. But I mean, otherwise, it's equivalent to my machine, except for it was, you know, pre-built.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
And the lovely thing is, when you build your own computer, it's just nice to know it inside out.
Yes.
And also, upgrading parts is dead easy, you know.
Yes, I do not disagree, and we're talking Alienware versus pre-built, not HP versus pre-built. If it's HP versus pre-built, dude, you're an idiot. That's all I gotta say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my first PC ever was an LNX 386 16 megahertz.
Wow.
And yeah, that was a Slimline desktop case. It looked really nice. It was really smart looking. It was a quality system because LNX was a really good build. And that was an awesome computer, and that got me started. And then when I come to start upgrading, I realised that I needed to have an AT chassis. This is back in the older PS2 keyboard mouse days.
Yep.
But yeah, I had to get an AT case, and I was gutted because my LNX case was so smart looking. And I thought I'll use a power supply still, and I realised I couldn't because the power supply was unique to that model, and it was a nightmare. So I eventually upgraded to AT, and I think I went down the Citrix route then. IBM Citrix, I think it was I had. All that. Oh no, I forget. You know, I had a 486DX266, and then I went up to the 133.
Shit. Hold on.
Then I had a Citrix. Yeah.
Okay, we're good. I just had a lag spike
It's
on Space
amazing
Engineer.
to think about. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's amazing really when you think about it. I mean, that was, well, must have been about 20 years ago. Just over 20 years ago I had that 386. It was a 16 megahertz computer. It wasn't top of the range at the time, but it was still, you know, in that kind of ballpark.
I've always had
60 megahertz is nothing.
I had shit computers growing up. I mean,
It is so funny. Last night I watched John Wick Chapter 2, yeah? I don't know if you've seen it, Trent, have you?
yeah.
You know, there's a bit where send the message for the bounty,
Yep.
and you see the office workers working on the computers. Did you notice it's a Commodore 64 they're typing on?
I did. I was choking on my drink at the time. It was great.
Yeah, I thought it was funny using the Commodore 64. I was like, hang on a second, I recognise that. But yeah,
Wait.
Commodore 64 was my first computer before a proper PC.
Yeah.
Those were the days. Spending half hour to an hour loading a game, just have it crash right at the end and have to do it all over again.
You don't know, but Charlie, that's how a lot of us start when we're younger. We buy a PC because we can't afford to build our own. But what you got to think of is, so you've got your pre-built, and now you can do what I did, is you buy your motherboard, then you wait until you can afford the next bit, and then you buy the next bit, and then you wait until you can afford the next bit, and you just do that repeatedly for every part in the PC.
One thing I found was with your pre-built PC, what things can you put in it that you could use on another computer? That's a nice way to get started. So, for example, SSD drives probably going to be the first thing. To get yourself some decent SSD drives. So you get that's in, that's all sorted. And then you might, or you're probably not going to go RAM. It's probably an older system, but you might be able to get a graphics card in there. So if you can put a decent PCIe graphics card in, go that route. You got that done then. And then you're ready then for the big jump to the motherboard, processor, RAM. That's the biggest jump really, isn't it, doing them three together?
Yep.
But at least once you've got them, you've then got a decent graphics card and SSD drive to go in them, and you've not been held back as such on your upgrade path. The PC wasn't a German invention, was it?
No, I don't think so.
What's the German for personal computer? Because if it doesn't come out as C, then you're wrong. No, I think you'll find the PC was an American invention.
Yeah, we only got one thing going for us.
Though technically, can you call an abacus a computer?
Abacus is a calculator, and that was the Chinese.
Which is a very, very basic form of computer, isn't it, really? Well, I suppose a personal computer is something that's a bit more, you know.
Yeah, PCs is something a little bit more complicated than just an abacus.
Yeah.
I would agree and concede the point if it wasn't for the difference in their function. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that IBM were the people that actually made the first personal computer. If not, it will be somewhere before there in that kind of area.
Yeah, I mean it was close.
Just quickly put in a Google search and actually got here. They argued that the first computer was the abacus. There you go. What was I saying?
That's what the world thinks, and that's what it is. Fuck it.
Invented by William Outred in 1622. Thinking heck. But the first computer resembling today's modern machines was the analytic engine, a device conceived and designed by a British mathematician Charles Babbage. So it was British. It's a British invention. Rules.
Yep.
Between 1833 and 1871. Okay, so the very first computer resembling modern machines is British design. There you go.
Yeah, nothing ever good comes from America. Warrior.
Well, I'm pretty happy with my Jeep.
You could do better. Believe me.
Well, I don't know. There's so many things that my Jeep beats, and everybody's always like, oh, yeah, Range Rover, Land Rover. I was like, yeah, right, okay. Why am I keep pulling them out of ditches all the time?
Oh no, that I'm not disagreeing with, and that's because the drivers suck. But just in general, you can do a loads better than Jeep. Jeep have well, okay. Is it an older Jeep? I guess is the question.
Yeah, older Jeep. My Jeep's a 2000, which is just before they started messing up and taking on Mercedes engines.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Nova, but we don't like Mercedes engines. They're just no good.
I don't disagree. Germans got a lot going for them, but that is not one of them.
Personally, I think that as far as our car engines go, I think for technical and quality, you're looking at Japan. They make the best quality engines, and then I think it's closely followed by US with the V8s and big blocks. I love that type of engine, and they're hardy. They do the job. They get it done. You know.
Our big blocks are pretty solid. I won't argue that.
Yeah, I do like our big blocks. And coming as far as car design, it goes on about freaking Ferrari. I can't stand Ferrari. I do not understand what people see in Ferrari.
Neither do I, dude.
Boring.
The Ferrari is not.
They're boring, repulsive, and bland. I mean, I like Lamborghini. Some Lamborghini cars, I'm like, you know, they're making a statement. They're bold. They're smart. I wouldn't have most Lamborghinis. Although saying that, I really want a Huracan because I think the Huracan is the best car they've ever done. It's gorgeous, absolutely amazing, and it's drivable, and it's practical, and it's awesome. I'd have one. But really, when it comes to styling, I think Aston Martin. I can't think of many.
Yeah, Aston Martins are pretty good. I don't. I mean, this is all going back down to that personal preference, though.
Yeah.
You know, because you get me behind. I will get behind a Corvette Stingray faster than I will.
Yeah, Corvette Stingray's nice. Yeah, I like that style of styling. And to be honest, one of my favourite American car is the Camaro SS 67.
Yeah,
I love them.
Yeah, no, that's a solid choice, man.
I'm actually planning on buying one of those and importing it. So, yeah, that's a dream that's gonna happen one day.
No, that's not a bad choice to have. The Camaro SS from that time, beautiful cars.
Yeah, absolutely lovely. Well, it might sound a bit sexist. I think it's to do with the curves. It is a feminine thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it's like it's got hips, hasn't it? But it's just really nice where it sweeps back and everything. It's just every angle looks great. I mean, what annoys me, you just don't get cars like that these days. I mean, why
No.
not? Back in them days, we had lots of square cars, yet people were still making round off cars and making them look great. And now we've got the technology to make any shape you want. We're making Ford Focuses.
Right?
And what do you call them Ford Focuses over there?
Yeah.
Or is it something else? Yeah. I just can't understand it.
Neither can I.
Well, there's this guy that lives next door to me. He's got a Ford Focus. It's neon green with all the rally stickers on it. Okay?
Sorry, I
It's
just puked
got-
in my mouth a little bit.
It's got a picnic table on the back. What some people call a rear wing, and it's front wheel drive. And this guy sits there, starts his engine up, leaves it ticking over for about half an hour because he thinks he's got a race engine and he needs to warm it up before he goes off for a drive down the shops.
That's
And he's
bull.
sitting there making all this noise, and I'm just like, really?
You've got a Ford Focus.
Exactly. You can't do anything to a Ford Focus to make it cool. Grannies drive them.
No, that's like the Prius. You just can't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know? It's not a cool car. You want a cool car? Go get a freaking Stingray or, you know, any of the Camaro from the early years, you know?
Yeah.
I don't like the newer Camaros. They look too much like a Mustang. I am not a big fan of the Mustang's body style.
Yeah, I don't like Mustang either.
But, it's just not my
Do you
thing.
like new Hellcats?
You know?
Have you seen a new Hellcat Jeep?
No.
707 horsepower, and it's amazing. It's an awesome car.
Hell yeah.
That's in my dream garage next to the Hurricane.
Alright. Alright. So, welcome to the stream. We are at 2.0, part 2. We are building the ground stuffs. Yeah, they're still German technology. The V2 was the first rocket to ever make or break the Kármán barrier, depending on how you want to look at it. The Kármán line. They were the first rockets into space. Of that, there's no doubt. Werner von Braun, that man, while there's some debate between some space enthusiasts. Some people believe he should have been tried for war crimes, but the problem is if he was, then we'd have the dilemma of, you know, no space program, because the Russians got, I think, his cousin or his brother or one of his colleague of some sort that yeah, that would have just made a non-space program. You know. And that's a problem for me, because then I wouldn't have cool games like this. You know. Yes, so the Germans do have the rockets and all that. German engineers at the time were great. You know, the Mercedes engine, I think we're better off guzzling gasoline and trying to run real fast, but that's just me. I'm going to steal a movie quote. Progress. Yes, I'm making progress. Alright, so there's the refineries. I think I need to put the assemblers in with the refineries. I think I can get away with that. What do you think, Beardie?
So, mate, I was just reading up on computers. You got me onto this now, Nova.
So what do you think? Should I build in with the refineries? Put the assemblers in? Do my big block assembler system?
Yeah, that makes sense. Do it like a server room in here, I guess. Like, you know, have it in the middle kind of thing, so it's not against the walls.
Alright. You do know what I was talking about by my big block. You've seen it before in my solo survival.
Yeah.
How many can I get going here? I can get... Oh, you lordy. That is 3 big block assembler. Oh, Lord. And then here I can do medical, command. Oh, yeah. This is going to be plenty for what I'm doing. Oh, so yeah. I wonder where everybody's at, man. I know it's like summer vacation for a lot of Americans, but I mean, this is... I don't get it.
Okay, I found it out. I had to do this, Nova, sorry. But the very first PC, well, a machine that operates like a PC as we know now, was in 1832, and it was the English guy. It was called a difference engine back then. The term personal computer wasn't coined until 1940s. And it wasn't by Conrad Zuse either, it was actually someone before him. So Conrad Zuse wasn't the first to name it or to invent it. He just made his own version of it. So the difference engine was actually the first name for a personal, well, not a personal computer, but for a computer.
Personal computer is based off of computer technology, so it really doesn't count as its own invention.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, as much as I would love to say, you know, nope, it's an American thing. No, it's not. In fact, America doesn't invent much that's any worth a damn.
But the central part of his machine was called the analytic engine, which to this day still resembles the components of any computer. It's still the basis of how a CPU works. So that's the most important of a computer is a CPU, and he basically invented the idea of how it should work. And it was a very crude original version of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and it freaking works. I mean, that's just it.
And this guy, Babbage, his name was, he didn't use the term CPU, he called it mill. That was what his name for it was.
Mill?
Which actually makes sense, because we use that term, don't we, in CPUs.
I don't rightly know.
The word mil dies or something. So many mil dies, and people used to think it was millimeter, but it's not. It's actually mil based on the unit of the Babbage name. That's interesting. And memory was called store.
Memory is called what?
Device called memory was called store. And you also had reader to input instructions. And he had a printer. He actually made an output device, which he did call a printer, which obviously is stuck.
Yeah. I do. I'm getting there, Killer Crown. That is... I want to make sure all the piping's done and all that first. But yes, I do. In fact, there's a reason why we're calling this the big block. Is if you had noticed, there's a 2 spacing in between. These 3, 1, 2, and 3 are going to be slaves to this one. Allowing us faster assembling, better assembling. But yes, I do. I also use, upgrades on refineries, which is why we have room here. I'm just getting there. I want to get the basic structure of the base built. I had this, I don't know, hexagonal flower thing going, expandable, modular crap, but I wasn't digging it. So I'm kind of getting this going first and foremost. And,
Nova, Conrad Zeus made the first programmable computer. There's a difference there. He didn't make the computer, he made a version that was programmable from user input rather than being hard coded, so to speak. He was able to change its programming based on the input of the user. That's not the first PC.
No, but that's a very big leap in PC technology. I will give him that.
Yeah.
That's nothing to sneeze at, Oh, so yeah, we're gonna, I think, put medical and cryo. Do we need cryo on a planetary base? We need cryo on a planetary base. I think I'm just gonna come from down here. Medical room, cryo. Yes, a British invention refined by the Germans because it is what it is, man. I mean, there's no debate over it. It's history. Does it really fracking matter that much? I don't think so, but, I'm weird.
It's funny, I think, as well, because there's this thing, isn't there, between Germany and England? It's like I don't know, I think it's because of the war. It's just like there's a rivalry in anything. It just ends up becoming the thing. Yeah, there's nothing harsh or nasty meant by it. I just think it's one of those things, isn't it? It's just whatever you talk about between England and Germany, it ends up being into, yeah, but we did this, yeah, but we did that.
I don't get it either. But you know what? That's all right. I don't have to get it. Nor do I have to care. It's just that's my American mentality kicking in, I guess. I don't know. Oh, so yeah. I mean, this is this is turning out to be I think oh a decent there we go. Oh, let me see. Oh no!
I've decided I'm going to start concentrating more on ethics of buildings and architecture, trying to practice, building with blocks in more creative ways. I want to start trying to make more, pleasing structures. I've got an idea to make a very large, whether it be like a port or mothership or something, because then you're kind of in a way building with small blocks. You can do more detail because the size of the ship, the larger blocks won't seem as much of a problem when you come in to make nice shapes. So I'm planning on putting space engineers to the test.
It won't be much of a test, dude. It's gonna get eaten. Unfortunately, space engineers just cannot do very large structures very well. You know what? In hindsight, we need to make this just a bit better or farther out. There we go. So yeah, there it is. And now we can stick one of these. Man, where is everybody? I miss my guys. I leave for a weekend and I hardly get anybody watching.
They all thought you disappeared.
No, man. Makes me wonder.
No, they'll see the emails and messages that you was online and they go, oh, he's back on again, and they'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Here's hoping. Makes chatting.
That looked really cool then, that view.
I know, right?
You really get like the mist with the hills, that is cool. The lighting's just perfect, I think. It makes it look so much more detailed.
Yeah.
Even though, strangely, there's less detail because it's just black on the foreground, but it just looks so nice.
It does. All right.
You open up a flower shop.
Do what?
It's like a shop front. It looks like you built a shop front with a shop door.
Hell yeah. Alright, now we need to maybe like a command center or Like a barracks maybe, or storage. Storage! We need storage. Although I don't think you'd store your fuel right next to your cryo. That just seems like a quick way to kill your guys.
You know what? For the old hydrogen farm type thing away from the base with pipelines to it or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
but instead of having the pipelines open view, actually build like a dome-shaped building over it so they're protected.
Yeah, we could. I was thinking like what we did with Gillian.
Yeah, yeah.
Not Gillian, but
like a walkway. You could have a walkway over them, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, on the ground base.
Yeah.
How close are you to the side of the lake?
Good question.
You're pretty central. Because it might be worth heading it off tide where there's maybe like a slight cliff face or something, so it's slightly protected.
Yeah, I'm pretty central. But that doesn't mean we can't move this thing either, so.
Yeah. To be honest, it probably wouldn't be such a deal to actually hollow out into the side of the mountain and have all your critical stuff in there.
Yeah, but that would make it a bigger pain in the ass to freaking, because I gotta hollow it out.
Yeah, true, yeah.
You know. On that aspect, that's just a bitch. You know. I don't disagree, it would look great, but...
There was a time in the early days as engineers that I was absolute master at using warheads to make absolutely perfect cutouts inside asteroids. I could make a room the size I wanted it perfectly just by arranging the warheads properly and putting walls around them. I was really good at it. And then they started changing all the values of the warheads and it just ruined it, so
yep.
I never probably carried on doing it anymore. But I could make a precise room cutout that I wanted by placing a warhead and then putting certain blocks around it to get the shape I wanted. And it worked awesome.
Not anymore, man.
Yeah, not anymore. I used to have a save game from the early days, and it was a really awesome asteroid with a base inside of it. I wonder if I can get that save game working on the current build. Probably not, but it'd be interesting to give it a try if I could find it.
Empyrean Galactic Survival came out. Update. Yep, you know, I could be playing that, but I'm not, so, you know. That's the thing.
The thing is, with all these other space games, is some of them look really cool. But the thing is, it's like Lego. Nothing beats Lego. Space Engineers is basically Lego on a PC, isn't it?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, Empyrean, it looks interesting. I probably will play it eventually, but that's eventually, not, you know, right now. Right now, I'm playing Space Engineers. You know, what do you want, you know? Normally I do that too, so your storage is centralized, but I don't know. I just, in this instance, I feel that this works. I mean, it really doesn't matter where it's at so long as it's piped. Could be worse. Could be much worse. Could be Phoenix building.
He does more deleting than building, though.
Yeah, this is true. Alright, so that's not the prettiest of piping jobs, but it'll do the job. So there's all that.
I'm quite looking forward to our stream end of the week.
You and me
Great
both.
Stream. Last week was a bit of a pain. Didn't get great. Well, we did get quite a bit done, but for me, I didn't. I spent a lot of time just travelling and finding I wasn't getting anywhere.
Yeah, you were getting nowhere fast because Ping Perfect sucks. But,
I had a claim to fame in the week. I left a reply on Merritt Gross's Twitter, and he liked it. My claim to fame for Space Engineer so far.
Gotcha.
It was he did a tweet about they got broken into their head office, and someone nicked 5 copies of Space Engineers. And he said on his tweet, someone was desperate to play Space Engineers, and I just couldn't resist on a reply. I mean, I don't really use Twitter. I've not hardly ever used it, but I just couldn't resist to reply to this one. So I just said, no, maybe you should increase the hack level for your door, or better still, install an interior turret. And he liked it straight away.
Yeah, that's about how I would normally do it too, Killer Crown. If you've been following from the beginning, I'm actually kind of lazy this time around. I don't necessarily need to go that insane with the everything. I don't find it necessary. If you want to repipe all this when I upload it to the workshop, go for it. Beyond that, I don't care. I really don't. Can't be bothered to care. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9 o'clock. Well, rock never makes it to the system anyway. You do a rock eject script, and that's the end of your rock needs, or not needs, but you know what I mean. Plague.
Yeah, just send the rock to Hollywood.
Well played.
That was a bad joke.
Yeah, it was still, yeah. There's also that, Nova. You're dead on with that. Inventory management script, and all of a sudden, no, you don't need it. You don't need a sorter. So now we're gonna get back into throw myself at that. And that would be the way to use it, Killer Crown, but an inventory management script would make your life a lot easier. You can pipe however you want. Like I'm going to. Because that's the way I roll. Because that's the way, I like it. Let me see here. We need that. We need that. So we're going to set up this thing to do that and that. And you know what? We're going to do this. Because we're going to use 2 scripts. Inventory management and the automatic LCDs 2. But, yeah, upload them. I'm not going to set them up all that much. Because I'm lazy. I'm a fucking lazy American, man. Ain't I, Beardie?
Yep.
See?
You know what, Killer Clown? Writing scripts isn't actually that hard. It's actually quite simple to work out. If you're any good at algebra or basic algebra, you can do scripting.
Dude, this is me we're talking about here.
Also, you're talking about everybody else in the world.
Oh, okay. You don't even have to worry about writing them. Check this out. You go to Edit, Browse Workshop. We're going to use Automatic LCDs. Check code. This was the wrong one. Automatic LCDs 2 is what we need. We need to get rid of that one. Automatic LCDs 2. Check code. Remember and exit. Wow, I just programmed all that in. Inventory.
That's why you got some warnings.
Inventory management. Check code. Remember and exit. There. I just slaved over that code. You saw that, Beardie, right?
Yeah. You didn't even have to copy and paste, did you?
Nope. So you just go to the workshop. You know, you
subscribe to any scripts that you like the sound of, and then bring them in that way.
Yep. So edit, browse workshop, and then you go down here to browse workshop. If you can't find anything, right? And it'll pull up your here. We'll do this. Right? And you go, well, what's this script do? Like LED controller script. That's awesome. Thruster heatsink. Raycast rangefinder. On-screen menu. Ship names. That sort of works. You know, and you just go through and you find, you know, all it is. Basically what it is somebody's already wrote the script, right? Killer Crown, and they uploaded it. And all I've got to do is download that script and put it into the programmable block. Right? I don't understand how their script works either, and quite frankly, I don't care how it works. I care that it works. So then we get over here. Set up actions. We're going to find our programmable blocks. We're going to set them to run. We're not going to type anything into that block at all because, yeah. Then we're going to find our timer block that we're going to name main. Right? And we're going to set it here on the end. We're going to set it to trigger now. And then we're going to set it again just before that to start. So what it's going to do is it's going to say, all right, I want you to start this timer. Oh, wait. No, do it right now. And it'll continue to loop. All right? And if we name these like we're supposed to, this one is automatic LCDs. Just like that. And then we're going to go to this one, and it's going to be in man. Right? So if we come over here to timer block main, look at that. Inventory manager and automatic LCD all set to run. So now we just go start. Right? Oh, something happened. What did happen? Why isn't it going? And now you can hear it going. Biohazard, welcome. Nova, I'm sorry. We'll see you later. You can hear it. You can hear it going. And because that's annoying as shit, shut up. Biohazard. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I won't be a complete dick to you. That's not true. I probably will be a complete dick to everybody. Just, sorry. That's how I roll, too. Alright, so now we need to...
Well, the thought was there.
Huh?
The thought was there.
The thought was there. I was going to say something nice, but I realized I'm incapable of saying anything nice. Because, as I've said before, I'm just not a nice person. Alright, so, there's all that. It's a big mess. Who cares? So yeah, that's how that works. You know, this timer I use for the scripts that don't need to be all that fast. But, there it is. That's how that works. What did it do? Well, what that did is it set these programmer blocks, this timer, right? What it's doing is it's updating this script as often as the timer's being ticked, right? So every time you hear one of those chimes, so every time you hear one of these chimes, you'll that script's being updated. So yeah. And because it's updating so frackin' fast, it's fucking annoying. Right? This one, I set to this. And this one is second. Right? And what we'll do for second is we don't hit the trigger now. We just hit start. So it's going to do whatever I told it to do. And then it'll trigger itself to start. And it won't trigger now, so it's not going to go ping, 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 ping. It's just going to be a 1 second timer. So that'll tick every second. That ticks every freaking tick. Ticks as fast as the game will let it. Ticks every second. And what it does is say automatic LCDs. Now you're going to make me actually build a fucking command center. God damn it.
To elaborate on that, Killer Clown, you got to think of the basics. Script itself is basically a set of instructions that once run, it starts at the beginning, gets to the end, and that's it. It just runs once on its own. There's no looping, it doesn't repeat. It's not like when you run a program on your computer, it's there running all the time. It literally just runs once. So in that script, it might be something simple like find out how many ores you've got in this container and display it on this screen. It'll do it once, so therefore it'll update that screen once. If you go putting some more ores in that container, it won't update on the screen until you run that script again. So to make it update automatically, you have the timer running to keep running that script. So if you put a time delay of 1 second, that script will run every second. If you put a delay of trigger now, it'll be constantly. It'll be the speed of the game's running. So it's really good for getting a screen update nice and quick, but it can also slow down the sim speed of the game, which causes you lag and problems, especially if you're doing a big build. So you've got to play them off against each other. There's also various, bugs and loopholes in Space Engineers, which means it's kind of a good thing to put the timer 1 second, but also put a trigger now. It just helps it boot when you start the game and keeps it running nice and smooth. But it really depends on how powerful your computer is, how big your build is, and how complicated your script is, and also how many scripts you're running. Yep. So each one of them computers is going to have a script, and you can have them all being triggered by one timer or multiple timers. And
so what that did, this is the automatic LCD script right here. Its main use. Now I have its inventory. I just did a quick inventory, just type that in, and it shows everything that could be in inventory. So if anything is in any of these crates, it'll start showing up. and it just kind of gives you an inventory checklist, things you can. So just a quick look. The inventory sorter, if I label these crates and all that, will sort automatically. Will move items from one crate to another, much like your sorter block, but without the sorter block. And then I can do, like, this one. We can do... So basically what I'm saying is this LCD, when I do this, is now part of the LCD scripts. So we show text on stream. You see? Write command to custom data on this panel. Right? So we go to custom data, and we want power. Right? Now it tells me how much power I've got. And how much I'm outputting. I mean, it's really that simple. And if you need to do anything more... yeah, that script particularly, if I type in LCD in brackets, then that script will automatically look at that LCD and go, okay, I need to project something to this LCD. Well, what do I need to do for this LCD? Well, that's where the custom data comes in. So that script is actually a pretty powerful script, and I love. Gotcha.
Yeah, typically in a script, you tend to get the variables at the top, and the variables are the things that you need to provide it. Well, sometimes they're already preset, which is why in the readmes I'd say, put the name LCD in square brackets at the end of each LCD that you want to be accessible from the script.
Yep.
But you can go into the scripts typically and change these variables if you want to. So if you've already gone through your world and you've named all your LCD something particular, you can change that variable in the script yourself. But yeah, typically variables, if of a good code, will put the variables at the top of the screen and then leave all the code you don't want to change below, so you know not to go changing the wrong things.
So this is the script that's running right now, automatic LCDs 2. Right? That's what we just, inventory and power. And they work on large ships, small ships, whatever. Doesn't matter. And then if you need to look at the guide, you just go here. And one will pop up eventually, if Steam is not being a turdlet.
Trey, if you want to go to the script in a second at the top, people will notice that there's lots of text there that doesn't seem to make any sense for a script. But what it is, you get a / and a star, and that basically opens up a comment section in the code. The computer actually ignores that, so you can write notes for human people to look at and read to make sense of what's going on. So hence why people put instructions in their script. So they have the / star, they have various texts with lots of stars, and then they have another / to close the comment section. And basically the script, the computer knows not to ignore everything between them 2 slashes. So that's how you can write notes. So that's why you've got instructions in there. That's not actually something the computer reads, but it's just telling you what you need to do for this script to work. And if you go down after them comment sections, you'll then start getting the variables, and they would have referred to them variables in that comment section.
Yep. And then that's where we get the bracket LCD, because this is what it's looking for. Right here. It's looking for LCD.
That's right.
Read this full guide. Go to that frickin' full guide. Yep, not a problem. I mean, that's if you've got questions, ask. I've been playing this game for well over 1,500 hours. Half 1,000, 1.5k. Either way, I've been playing this for a fucking long time. I mean, it's got nothing on Kerbal Space Program for me. That game, I have played a shit ton of.
The nice thing as well, the code that they use on here is actually basically C#. Well, it's a bit of it's similar.
It's very similar, yeah, but it's not quite there.
So if you do start to learn it, it's not a waste of your time. It's not like you're trying to learn a language just entirely just for a computer game. It's actually something that you can maybe even make a career out of and learn it in a fun way.
Nah, I didn't think about that. Maybe now maybe I gotta. All right. I think. You know, I've played a buttload of StarMade too. If you look at my screenshots, I've made a lot of ships in StarMade. I made a... God, I wish Reaper was on. He would remember the dimensions of that station. It was a large station. Yep. No, I know Imperion. I know StarMade. I have Imperion, haven't played it yet. And I've played a buttload of StarMade. Both are quality starts. But I keep on coming back to this game for a reason. It just... StarMade, you don't get planets like this. You don't get views like this. You know what I mean? It just... This is so much nicer.
It is weird how Space Engineers just seems to just fit, doesn't it? As annoying as it is, as much as we moan about the bugs and the problems it's got, we still find workarounds for it or put up with it because we know that it's still in development, and we hope it's going to get better, and I hope it does get better. But it's still an awesome game. I mean, from day one, it was awesome. Before we even had planets, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I've always made the reference, it is basically Lego. I mean, you play Lego, the brick sizes are perfect, the type of blocks you get are perfect. It's just enough blocks to make what you need to do, and then, your imagination's the limit. And it's exactly the same with this. They've done the basics, what you need, and they keep adding bits to it now, which is great, and there's not many games out there that are like this. I mean, obviously there are games that build like Lego, but I don't know, they just don't quite have what Space Engineers has got.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem the same. And yes, there are block shapes in Imperion that Space Engineers doesn't have. But Space Engineers has, in my opinion, a lot. Like I said, I haven't played Imperion yet, so I don't know for sure. But I don't know. It just seems like it's better.
Yeah, Killer Clown, typically, if you've done things like wheels or rotors or pistons, you can pretty much guarantee you're going to have an exploding ship. Annoying it is, but yeah, you just got to learn some basic rules about Space Engineers. Don't get too complicated, because if you do, that's when stuff goes wrong. The game's fairly unstable when it comes to complications, and that's when you start getting weird things happen. My favourite though is making a car with just the suspension wheels, and whilst in the control panel, set the ride height up and down quickly, and you'll find your car will fly into orbit quicker than any rocket can push it.
Yeah, that says something for the game.
Then again, there is a certain amount of realism in that. If you was able to adjust your suspension that quickly, your car would shoot up into the air.
Yeah. So there we go. Those are the big block assemblers. Control panel. We need to do cooperative mode for that one.
The physics of Space Engineers, I'd say, actually pretty good. It's not really a glitch with the physics, it's a glitch with the input to the physics.
Yeah.
Some blocks aren't balanced quite, and when they come together, they clash, and which therefore puts an erroneous number into the physics calculation, which then causes the unwelcome output. That's pretty much what it is.
That's about what I figured too.
I mean, if you look at the Waste of Space has got this video I've seen a couple of times where he's basically made like a lava lamp, and it's got all the gravity balls inside of it, moving up and down. It looks like a lava lamp, and it flows so nice, and there's so many of them in there, and it's quite impressive to see that, and it makes you realise how good the physics engine is.
Yeah, I mean that's a great way of looking at Space Engineers. Oh my God, the big block assemblers look so sexy in the new DirectX. So tasty. So basically, this is the main assembler for each block. The other 3 assemblers attached to it are set to cooperative mode, so whatever this builds, they help build. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the latest major build fixed a lot of things, but caused a lot more new problems.
Yeah.
It sounds like Killer Clown's having that issue. I've had problems myself trying to do my daily series. It's more a mod issue, but a mod not working with the game. But it's a mod that I use in episodes, so I couldn't really do an episode without it. So it's kind of messed up my daily vlogs at the moment.
What's the mod?
But I'm not too sure which one it is. I've got 4 main mods that I rely on that I need to have, otherwise I can't use chip in my game. And it's at the moment I'm basically getting that chip every single episode, so I can't do an episode because it messes up. If I take the mods off, it works fine. So whether it's a problem with the mod or the fact that the mods are on the game is a problem with the major update, I yet to know. But I have noticed so far every day this week they've brought out a hot fix, so I think they're aware that they've got these problems and they're trying to fix them as quick as possible.
Well, they did say that there were, while it was tested, there's going to be issues. So I mean, they warned us.
Well, we all know this. I mean, it's beta. That happens. That's why it's not like you can get your money back because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
We're all in it for the same understanding that this game isn't actually finished. It's still being made, and you can't expect anything that's still being made to work 100%.
As much as we would love it to, I mean, I think if it did work 100%, Keen would be the best ever.
To be honest, I've got to give Keen a lot of props. I mean, we do nag about him, and sometimes I do slag him off for annoying me. But they've actually done a really good job. I mean, this game came from a couple of people in a little office, and they made something absolutely amazing already. Then allowed them to get the crowdfunding they needed to now get to where they are now. I mean, from day one, this game was awesome.
Yeah.
But every time they add something to it, it just makes it better and better. They keep adding bugs to it, but you can't add features and not expect to get bugs.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. You know.
It's just one of those things that the bigger a game gets, the harder it gets to debug as well, and it's harder it is to fix bugs. And you could have a bit of code that's absolutely 100% bug free. You write a new line of code, and that means that the old code now has a bug because that combined with the new code has created the bug. So you then got to change that code that was perfectly fine in the first place because of the new code,
which may end up breaking a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vicious circle. It really is.
You know, the struggle's real. I get it. You know, it's like I said, it'd be perfect if they could. I know better. I'm not, I'm not one of those guys that say, well, games have been around for years. Why can't they get it right the first time? Yeah.
The reason that medieval engineers have been easier is because it's on a smaller scale. Really, you don't see massive starships smash into other starships on medieval engineers. You've got at best some moderately sized castles situated quite far from each other, and you just fire in some rocks at each other. It's not heavy work on the computer at all. So the coding's quite simple. You haven't got quite the same physics as you've got in Space Engineers. You're within an atmosphere. It's coded a different way. You haven't got to worry about oxygen as such. That's a standard in the game. That's just is. Whereas in Space Engineers, you have to code for oxygen, no oxygen, and gravity and no gravity. Whereas those factors, which are huge in Space Engineers, just aren't there in medieval engineers. So that alone makes it so much easier to do, which means they've been able to develop quicker in medieval engineers. And they've got features like sharing a block. You can put 2 things in one block, which you can't do in Space Engineers.
I wish they could make it that way, damn it.
Yeah, we want that, but the reason why they can't is because it's so complex. Because, like I said, with adding code, then add bugs, and you add it to code that's working perfectly fine. So, as soon as they start doing this merge blocks, you can expect the game to break. It's going to happen. Annoyingly, I think they should have brought it in earlier, but then that would have stunted the development at the moment. And as a business, they've got to bear in mind they need to keep the customers happy and keep the money coming in, because otherwise it could have just killed Space Engineers. As a developer, there's a fine balance of keeping your customers happy, keeping the money coming in, and then trying to make sure you finish the game. And it's not as easy as many people think.
No. Well, and again, I've made no illusions, or have no illusions to what Keen is doing. They do have to run a business. I get that. I'm not even faulting them for it. Block building would be amazing, and they said that they are going to try to migrate it to Space Engineers, but they have to do it in such a way as to where it doesn't break the game. Space Engineers also might get structural integrity, which is something Medieval Engineers has. But again, as Beardie said, that's adding more complicated code to an already complicated code, and it's not necessarily the most ideal way of handling things, which is why it's taking so long.
I mean, like structural density and things like that, and strength, and how a building stands, and what happens when you put it away. That's a good example of how the code of Space Engineers and Medieval is different. With Medieval Engineers, they don't have to think about levels of gravity and lack of gravity. So therefore, when they do their equations for how to work out how a building's going to act when you take a brick away from underneath of it, it's always the same number you're using. Gravity equals 1, or whatever value they're using. It makes it so much easier because it's just one set of calculations you've got to work, as opposed to Space Engineers where that value could change, and sometimes that change of values could mean you've got to have a totally different equation, because without gravity it would act totally different. It wouldn't move anywhere, or it would only be moved if it was pushed. So then you've got things like momentum you've got to bring into it. So that's why it gets a lot more complicated. You're instead of just having one equation, you've got multiple equations which all run off the back of each other, and if you don't get them working in the right order, you'll come out with the wrong answer. So that's basically the gist of it, really.
That is it. That sums it up. That is why. I'm okay with the why. You know what I mean? It may happen, it may not. I won't say it will, even though I almost did. But if it happens, awesome. If not, then it is what it is. I love the game for what it is, and that is a complete creative toolbox.
Well, so long as they're making money, I can see them finishing the game. That's the worrying thing. If they don't manage to finish it in time before people start getting bored of it, that's going to be the problem. But they're still doing pretty good. They don't waste money too much. They've got quite a good development team.
Yeah,
but
they're efficient. I will give them, enough of that. All right, I need to get this in there so I can go down here. Come on.
One thing they've done is a lot of rewriting script, changing the way they did things. The original engine did things very differently, and as they've come along developing, adding more features, they realise that, hang on a second, we've now got limitations because of our original engine. So then they go back and do an engine rewrite, and they've done that a few times now. And in doing that, it's allowed them more options, more efficient workings and things. Hence this most recent major update. They did a lot of rewriting to the engine to make it more efficient. And in doing that, it's now caused bugs in code that worked originally, hence some of the bugs we're now getting since this major update. But it's just a case, of making improvements where you can, and when it messes up something, you then got to iron out them bugs. And it's just an ongoing trial and error process until you get the working thing. And even when they do release, when it is finally released and it's out there for sale properly, there will still be bugs in there they just haven't found. And one day someone will crash and hang on, this is happening. And you'll get version updates even when it's live, but once it is fully released, it's obviously a lot more stable than it is now. So.
Yep, and that's it. You know.
Windows has got more bugs than Space Engineers, but everybody uses it.
This is true. Oh my god, is this true? I don't know what the fuck that just was, but alright. Alright, we're setting up the fuel line now. Or the fuel platform.
So I see we've got 6 watching. So who's there? I want to say hello so we know who's here.
Yeah! Speak up and chat, come on. Or not, either way. I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing, and you're gonna continue watching, or not. I really wish I can say revert to this timestamp in this stream to see how I handle things in this stream. What is my give a shit level? You know what I mean?
It's somewhere on par with IQ, isn't it?
Yeah, more or less. Wait a minute. No, that's part of the joke.
Yeah, Killer Clown's there. V9 Gaming, he's here. Oh, I think he's just come in actually because now 7 watching. Welcome V9 Gaming. I've not seen V9 Gaming before. Is this a new guy?
Yeah, he's new. Welcome, V9. I build the Fleet series in creative. I do play a lot of survival when I'm not, you know, or before I was live streaming.
We do a group survival build on
Every
stream,
Friday.
Every Friday.
Yep. Beardie, Phoenix, and me. Huh?
Should be a good one this week. I'm excited the new server we just got.
Hell yeah. No, I haven't, dude's help really, well, helped. There we go. I think this is where we're going.
Building creative is great for brainstorming ideas, messing around, because there's nothing worse than in the ship realising you put a load of blocks in the wrong place and having to grind them all down again. So in creative, you know, you just add, remove as you go. It's nice. And then if you really want to bring it into creative, into survival,
use a
then
projector.
take a blueprint, you know, go that route.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, and that's essentially how I do things. I mean, this is built using creative, but anything I've built, you can use in survival. You know, and Killer, that's awesome, but when you have designs and you're not sure how they're gonna work, so you want to come up here and test, you know what I mean? This is where, you know, is this ship design gonna work for me? Is this here gonna work? Is this station gonna work? You know, what about my hydrogen hauler that's gonna go between stations? What about my strike fighter? Is that going to be worth a damn? You know, and that's why I build in creative, because now I can, you know, hook a projector up to this in survival, right? Yeah, you can build the ship in your head, Killer Crown. That's great, but do you know how well it works? Do you have enough experience in the game to know exactly what's going to happen when you use it?
Plus Plus, Killer Clown, I'm pretty sure you're human, and humans have this tendency to change their mind. So
Yep.
you could be halfway through a build and go, actually, I should have done it this way. So if you go deleting some, it's all grinding and taking time, and then getting the components again, and not to mention all the walking between crates and your build to bring stuff across. It slows your creativity down in a way. You know, in an hour of building in survival compared to an hour of building creative, you're going to get 2, 3, 4 times more done
In creative.
and let your creativity flow a lot better, and you haven't got to worry about design in your head. It's nice to see it, visualise it, especially as well with the blocks in Space Engineers. I find there's blocks missing that I imagine. I have this horrible idea in my head, I'll get a design that's really smart, I'll go to put it in Space Engineers, go, hang on a second, that block doesn't exist. I've imagined it exists. So it's really frustrating when that happens. So it's good to play around the blocks and sometimes make interesting shapes that you wouldn't have necessarily thought of.
Yep. And and you know what? It's all down to style. If that's what you are into, how you are into doing things, awesome. Go for it. Do what you do. Don't let the way I build or the way Beardie builds influence what you do. I mean, unless you want it to, you know. I don't care either way. I'm easy.
The only thing I'd say, if you've done 100% of your time in survival, then you need to check out creative because you don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, there's that.
I know there's more of a game aspect to when you're doing survival because you're doing it. You're being that first person. You're doing that build. You're getting the components.
Yeah.
You know, there's a sense of achievement to it. But sometimes, personally, I love doing that. But also sometimes I just want to be creative. I just want to build stuff. I don't have to worry about where the stuff comes from, and that's when it's nice to go to creative. So there's a healthy balance between the two, really, depending on what mood you're in.
Yep. And that's actually why I've been liking our group survival streams, is because I've been doing this creative build of ship just because I can, as quickly as I can. I mean, I've built the fleet, the space version of the fleet, in just a handful of streams. It doesn't take long. You know, this isn't going to take long. This will be done here real soon. You know, if I can build an entire outpost, base, refining station in a stream, in creative, where it would take me... I mean, if I were trying to harvest all the materials for this, I mean, that's...
You wouldn't have started the base yet.
Yeah, I'd still be mining, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's the point, you know. It's
also, the more you play Space Engineers, the more ideas you end up getting, and there's just not enough time in a day to get all these ideas out into the game. So having the game limit you with how fast you can get those ideas into the game doesn't really help as well.
no.
I personally get frustrated with the ideas that come up with. I'm meant to be sitting there working, doing my web design or scripting, and I'm sitting there having all these ideas for Space Engineers, and it's frustrating. So it's nice just to quickly pop in for half an hour and just get it done in creative.
Yep. And that's the other bit. You know, I mean, you guys are now seeing kind of how I build. I'm an iterative build design. I will rip apart, you know.
I always think the way Trent builds reminds me of do clay work. You know, usually adding and removing parts until it looks right.
Well, and quite frankly, that's the way I do rock.
Yeah.
You know, and it works. I can't say it doesn't, because I come up with some pretty decent. I won't say the best, but decent. You know, I'm not trying to brag. I don't like bragging, but I've seen worse out there. There we go. There we go. So yeah, right now we're just kind of working on the fuel area. We've found that it's just intelligent not to keep your fuel stored with everything else in the base. That's how you get blown the fuck up. That about right, Beardie?
Yeah, especially if Phoenix comes into the game. Gotta be careful of these things.
Yeah. There we go. And there's what she wrote. Now we've got a fully... yeah, well, the painting system used to be a lot better, but they decided they wanted to change it, and you know what? As much as I can bitch and moan about it, it's their game to change. You know.
When they finally back onto the whole sharing blocks, I think that's when they'll sort the paint out as well. It'll be the same area of code that would allow you to paint different sides of blocks, different colours, the same as it would be to put multiple things in one space.
Yeah. You know, but that's again the difference in... Alright, I've got this big bulbous white mass here that needs to go away. Let's change this up a little bit, shall we?
You sound like a teenager about to pick his spots.
What?
You sound like a teenager talking about his spots.
Well, that's...
Big bulbous mess. We'll squeeze it.
I am squeezing the shit out of it. Motherfucker. Ah, damn it.
Trent, now you've coloured all in black. I was going to advise you something. Black's not a good colour to colour hydrogen tanks.
You know what? You're right.
It attracts heat.
Yes, you're right. You need to boil off. Fuck. Alright, white it is. For the tanks anyway. The fucking pipes are going to be fucking black. Because I need something to balance.
Do them like a silvery grey colour, because then you can sort of play it off that they're reflective.
No bueno, dude. Yellow would... yeah.
Can't get the right...
Oh, you know what? How about red for I'm gonna blow the fuck up?
Sorry if I just hit the mic.
I thought you got hit upside the head for a second. It sounded pretty hollow.
Like a fire station now. Don't know why, but it just does.
Well, it's
yeah,
still...
red probably does work, doesn't it? You know what would look better actually? It's a bit of work, but keeping the red, but then you know the grates, the silver grates, put them around it. So you'd have that red coming through the silver grate, it could look quite good.
That's true. We can definitely take a look at that once I'm done painting these pillars.
Rather than the silver grates, how about using the flat catwalk grounded down? Because you get the chrome look, don't you? You actually get a reflective colour.
Because then I'd have to sit here and grind every fucking piece.
It would look awesome though. Oh, come on.
It would look great. I don't know that I'm going to do it though. Because that means I have to grind every fracking piece. I mean... And you're also looking at more.
Just had a quick thought that might save that. How about placing one in place, grind it to how you want, and then copy it, and then paste it onto. Can you paste it onto? You should be able to, shouldn't you? Just do one separate for the build and copy paste it.
That's.
I've never thought about it. Just come to me. If that works, I'm going to be doing it a lot more.
If it does work, yeah, sure. If it doesn't, which I'm thinking it might not.
So like, just drop a catwalk on the floor somewhere on the ice, grind it down a little bit, and then copy it, and then you should be able to paste it and place it on the side of the building. It's a block that attaches to a block.
Yeah. Once I remember where the hell the catwalks are, there they are. Let's do that. Oops. Too fast. Yes and no.
What's the yes and what's the no? I'm
Well,
still looking. I'm watching you stream a few seconds behind that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can paste it in, and it would look all right. But not, I don't think, as well as you were thinking originally. And that's still a lot of individual block placing.
Yeah, I guess it's the spacing, isn't it, between the bars? It's a bit too much. You want to be a bit closer together to get the effect, I suppose.
Yeah.
Unless you do a combination of that and is there a stage before that where you still get the plates?
No.
So there's no gaps, but it's like a chrome.
No.
There's a block you can. I think it must be a square block maybe. Because like those ones struck the middle and then filled in blocks on the sides might look better. But,
you know what? I do know of a one that could work.
Is it the LCD?
Nope.
When you grind that down, you get a flat bit of chrome.
Maroon tanks are settling. Bright red
you can
for...
get helium in marine tanks as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm digging this, dude.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that you mentioned it different to what it's going to look like in game. Well, I say that what you've done there with the windows, if you go for the 1x1 block, the single blocks,
Yeah.
you could actually like make almost like catwalk style, so it looks like they're braced at the top.
You know what? 1x1 blocks going that high might be the way to go. So, give me a second.
You could do that on the sides, as if it's like bracing, and then make it across the top as well. So it's like they're all braced together.
Maybe.
Almost like some sort of scaffolding.
Maybe. I think we've got an hour to figure it out, so I'm gonna step away from that for a second. And... No, I'm not. I'm committed. So I need to do 9 high.
I think I'm sure I've seen someone do something similar to this, but I think they use the small wheels grounded down for some reason to get some kind of detail on the top that then look right with the sides.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different tools you can use. See, Casey gets it. Red for boom! Welcome back, Casey. How you doing? I'm not one of those guys that actually cares what color the shit is. I'm just trying to keep in with the, fleet needs. It'd be better if I can just, you know, straight up paste a whole line of them, but... Oh, you've been back for a while. You just haven't decided to say anything in chat. Asshat.
Oh, I think I saw him earlier.
Oh, okay. Alright. Where is that fucking thing? You know, V9, that's what Beardie was saying, and I think, yeah, the red's just not, it's not cutting it.
So I thought the red was good, but too much. So that's why I had the idea of putting the chrome grates in front of it to distract from the red. So you get a little bit of red coming through them. But it's just trying to find the right block that does the job.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything with what Space Engineers has to offer right now, dude. I think it's just going to look like a clusterfuck regardless. Oh, you did? Well, my apologies, Casey. My apologies. Ah, damn, I tried to get them all, but whatever. Oh, Casey, I'm no busy than I normally am. Maybe, alright, so let's see what these... You know what? I have an idea. Oh, damn it. I have an idea.
kind of having the Killer Crown just said about having a huge wall of box. There's a colour palette. Originally, just then as I read that, I thought there's no need for that because you've got your custom colours in your palette anyway, which you got with the P key. But I can see how having that block of walls could be quite good if, like, in open like this, you can just sort of literally just lean over, copy the colour, and then just start putting it down. But that only works if you're in like a large area. If you're inside somewhere where you can't get to that palette without having to walk down a corridor, then you're just quick enough pressing the P key. It's an interesting idea. I've not thought of using that before, so maybe on a big build I might give that a go myself.
Yeah,
typically,
for sure.
Copy it from wherever I used it last, whatever's closest if it's there. So I guess it depends on how colourful your ship is and how many colours you're using. I tend to use just like 2 or 3 colours, so it's usually quite easy to find the colour quite close anyway.
Well, back in the day, I when I was playing with Legos, I used to use all the colors in the rainbow. And then my brother decided he was going to tell me exactly what he thought about that, and he's not wrong. It looked like I was making starships out of box of Fruit Loops.
I'm one of those that can't build something without getting the colour right. If I start with red blocks, it's all going to be red blocks.
Yep. So that's when I started color coding stuff and building like that. No, and that's just because of how light plays off of it, man. You know.
There's quite a few variables in light reflection and all that kind of stuff, isn't there? Luminosity, if we said the word.
I think you just did, but what do I know?
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
I'm American, I'm not an English major. And I by saying that, I'm making it sound like all Americans don't know how to speak English. I don't care. Alright, so the idea is, by setting it up like this, we are using the lights from the pipes and just all together offsetting like that, and I think it doesn't look all that bad. So this,
you got your bracing and it physically does something, and you got detail.
I mean, I could add lights to this, but I think that's going to be a little overkill. So I think this is the way we're going to go. And then I need to run out defensive turrets places. And that is going to be the bigger pain in the ass. You're not going to be
stepping away for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, as far as being over there, dude, there's not going to be a way to get over there otherwise. So I don't think it's going to matter all that much, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it is what it is. Why would you go over there? You really don't have a reason to. Alright. Well, I am learning that I need to eat something before I start doing this. I am going to need to get up earlier. I won't need to, as that's only 46 kilometers away up to that station. These antennas have a 50-kilometer range. That puts me well within the range to that station to contact the fleet, and then the station itself has a 50-kilometer range, which can relay out. So, I mean, as far as this goes, I think we'll be okay. And yes, I realize that this is, you know, exposing the hell out of conveyors and, you know, the turrets won't be able to, or can be easily disconnected, but, you know, if you make a base like flawless, then what's the point, you know? If nobody can beat you, if there's no risk, then it gets boring. That's how I see this. I am building in risk so it's not boring. Yeah, so I mean that's where we're at. I think my little brother is no longer with us right now. He is back at my parents' place, helping them out, being an extra pair of hands. The good news is because of this past weekend's Salt Lake trip, I do not have to make another Salt Lake trip later. Which I would have been gone a lot longer. So exactly. So I'm just building one that, you know, to me is aesthetically pleasing, that to me would fit my needs, my desires. You know, it can go for a little bit more of a recess in the ground, but that's something a copy and paste or cut and paste would fix. I think it can go a little bit deeper in the ground. But I mean, otherwise it works. You know, we have it off the ground here just in case the wolves do spawn, and I think I have them turned on. Where the hell they are, I don't know, but they're turned on. I just want to get a couple turrets over here on this side, and I'll be set, which is going to require me to build a spectator for a second. I'm going to show you guys a trick. If you have a server that allows spectator mode, this is the way to do it. Just like that. I do not have another base. Casey, I have removed it because I didn't like how it looked. I can hear him. But, whatever. So. Oh, god damn it. We're going to do this for a little bit of redundancy. That way if, you know... yeah, you can. I don't advise it because as you're scrolling through your different blocks, it will adjust your movement speed in Spectator, and that can get very freaking annoying very quickly. Some people that doesn't bother so much, but for me, it drives me apeshit. Another reason why creative mode works.
Potato mode building is pretty helpful when you're trying to build a base into the ground, or you'll do some mining. You can do the other way around. Instead of building a hole and then trying to build your walls on it, you can actually build underground and then hollow it out using the voxel tool.
Yep, gives you a bit more to work with. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. This squared off area is where we can land our ships. It doesn't need to be a heavy-duty thing, I don't think. We've got refining capabilities, some mean refining capabilities. Assembling the whole 9 yards, it works out great. In fact, we need to light this place. Casey, I don't need to build a kinetic bomber. I'm the only one on this planet. Who am I going to bomb?
Phoenix.
I will build a kinetic bomber. Speaking of, have we heard from the Boy Wonder recently?
Not today, no. He was streaming last night, I believe, doing GTA. But no.
Gotcha.
He's still having problems with his streaming, I think, because yesterday I watched his GTA stream slightly on Twitch, because he's gone back to Twitch because YouTube's been giving him grief. But I don't think he's got his config quite right on OBS because it was really horrible. It was like you get smoothness for a few seconds, then it stops for a few seconds, and smoothness for a few seconds, and
It was fine as far as YouTube goes. I don't know why he's deciding he needs to do Twitch too, but you know what? Whatever. That's his business. I mean, my buddy said something about why don't I go to Twitch, and I told him straight up because that's a pain in the ass. I have to record the video as I'm streaming so I can upload it to YouTube, so my YouTubers don't miss out. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of hard drive space. Well, I mean, as far as it goes, Casey, that crossbow, the crossbow, we don't need a kinetic bomber because that thing can do an orbital bombardment like nobody's business and have a lot less risk. I mean, there's almost no risk with that doing the bombardment. Ain't I right, Beardie?
yeah. Or just drop Phoenix.
I don't want to do that to my enemy, man. That's inhumane. Well, again, V9, I could, but there's no way you can't do gravity cannons on a planet. The gravities are mutually exclusive. And anything I do build, if it's a small ship on a rotor, ew, just gross. I don't like those. I find them to be, well, gross. Unnecessary.
I've got a better way of deterring anybody from invading, or thinking you're a threat, or just leaving you alone. Just paint the whole base pink, because if anyone's got a pink base, you're not going to invade it, are you? Just, oh, they can't be serious. We'll leave that alone.
Yeah, I mean that's
nothing worth stealing.
that's always a great deterrent, you know. Although now that we said that over live stream, we can't do it. There we go. But I don't need to intimidate my enemies, man. I mean, how do I put it? I have to have enemies, and I have to care for me to have to worry about intimidating my enemies. This... yeah. You know, but that's how it's gonna go. I think, for the most part, we have our station, our ground station, built. I mean, it could use some detail for sure, but it's built. It'll work. At this point, from here on, I think we need to... think about where we're going to go from here. I mean, we need some sort of or refined goods drop ship that can come from here, right? Take off and make it to here. Dock up. And go from there. And then come back down and land. That's going to be the trick, I think, is the landing without crashing. It's got to have enough thrust to actually, you know, break its own descent. So,
Just reminded me of the challenge I set you the other day about trying to recreate the SpaceX landing rocket.
Yeah. So, that's food for thought. We also might do a small bit of land. Ooh, you know what? That's what we're going to do. That's what we need to add. I do not build with ships with hydrogen. I don't. It doesn't happen. The hydrogen system in this game is so inefficient, it's sad. I much prefer to build with the air. The atmospheric engines. At least there, you know what you're getting.
Hey, Eska.
Eska!
Teens and kids, it's time for you to leave.
Eska's on! Yeah, she's bad. So freaking hilarious. Yeah, it's just, hydrogen's not worth building with. I wish I could say otherwise, it's just, it's not. Alright. Yep, eventually. That's a quality of life thing. What I do is I build the structure first and foremost, and then I start building quality of life things after that. You know, once I'm happy with how everything looks, feels, I do quality of life things after the structure. You know, normally I wouldn't put the stuff on the assemblers until last, but I really had no reason not to. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen you for a while, Eska. You been alright?
Oh. No, man, Eska, we really missed you. I did some stuff yesterday, but it just didn't. I was not on top of my game yesterday. I had a I was in the truck on Monday. I was driving for 16 hours. I was tired. It wasn't happening. So, you know, that was Monday. I was driving back from Salt Lake City. So 8 hours, but 16 hours in the truck total. 8 down, Hey, back. And, so Monday I was preoccupied. Tuesday I did stream a little bit, but I was an hour late and I was tired as shit still. Today we are really just getting back into it. Well, I got thinking we needed a small pad for a small ship too. I will build those things. Their own little pad. And if I do this right, it could be modular. Just cut and paste. Uh-huh. So what have you been up to, Eska? How's life? Almost done with this, then I can actually, like, separate it for a second, reconnect it afterwards. Paste a couple of these. Just like that. Boom. Boom. Surveillance drone. What are my thoughts? I haven't thought. I don't think. I just built, man. So, I mean, a surveillance drone is definitely within the cards. It's definitely a possibility. It's within that realm of possibility. I don't see why not, other than, remember, I'm lazy, and it really does have to fill a role or purpose. There's two things that would really prevent me from liking the idea altogether, and the first and foremost is that stupid laser antenna actually has less of a range than the normal antennas for some stupid reason. Which ideally for a drone, you're gonna want the laser antenna so the enemy doesn't know you're broadcasting or nearby. But because of the nature of it, it's Eska, I understand. The struggle is real. But that is the nature of life. Oh, I want something. I don't have any money. Now I have to, you know, get a job, make money to do the thing I want to do. I think every adult...
And then you've got no time to do the thing you want to do.
Yeah. And then, yeah, then you don't have any time. And then you're like, well, shit. And then you want to stop doing the thing, you know, the jobs that's making the money to do things you want to do so you can do the things you want to do, but you need the money to do the things you want to do. That's an adult. The struggle is a thing. I get it. It is... is what it is. Alright, now that's better. So we got 3 small landing pads. And then we've got this large landing area. I think somebody said something about spotlights to light up the area. We'll see. I don't like the pollution. I mean, you're not wrong. It needs some sort of lighting, but I don't like the pollution the spotlights put off. Normally.
Didn't the major update change the lighting?
I don't know.
So I saw Waste Space's video the other day showing the differences between the major and the previous, and you had 2 clips running side by side, and the difference was huge. There's a big difference between the lighting. I'm not sure if spotlights look better now, because they weren't very kind of focused, didn't they? They look a bit over the top.
I don't know. They were polluting, you know, massive amounts of pollution. It wasn't pleasant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you did want that big casting row of spotlights and lots of them, you'd only have a couple of them load up at once. You couldn't see lots of them at the same time.
Yeah.
The game wouldn't let you load.
Thinking a couple should be just fine. One, two, three, four,
Still got that
five,
fog
six.
effect though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the pollution I'm talking about.
Yeah, you want really to see the light where it hits things. You don't want to see the air between lit up, do you? Really?
Yeah, and that's. Kind of where we're
They
sitting
do
with
look
it.
a bit. They've improved slightly, but it's still. It makes it look like you've got fog in front of the lens. It's stupid.
Yeah. One, two, three, four, five, six. I mean, it does the job. And it does look a lot better. I will give it that. But I still think that that fog in there is what's killing the idea of spotlights for me.
I mean, I'd love to fog if it was actually foggy, but it's not. So.
Yeah. You know, if it was actually foggy, I'd be like, well, fuck yeah, man, that's some awesome shit. But it's... Oh, I know what it is. These spotlights are so fracking awesome that the light itself is kicking up the dust around him.
Yeah, it could be.
No, that doesn't even work in my own little head cannon. Alright, never mind.
They're actually working at distance. That's amazing. The spotlights are working at distance.
That is amazing, actually, because they would cut off.
Yeah.
So I think that does the trick.
Just a thought as well, seeing as it's engineers and a lot of builds happen in space, a spotlight on a spaceship wouldn't have any fog in front of it, so that's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're trying to do like a dust thing or something like that, but then there'd be dust everywhere. At which point, that makes no sense. Unless there, yeah. If you get in here, it looks like there's supposed to be like a fog or a dust, and
You know what? We still got them fireflies. Do you remember when you're out in the trees in the woods and you get the fireflies?
That's
Do
a
we
good
still have
question.
that in the game? Because they could do a similar thing. When you put the spotlights on, in that cone field of light, they should have like a occasional specks, like bits of dust floating around or something. That would be a bit better, wouldn't it? So you can tell that there's light in the area until it hits something.
yes, exactly
It would be
like
very
dirty
similar.
space air windows. Makes no sense. Anyhow, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to, you know.
But just like very slight particles. Like when you're in an atmosphere, maybe having like that dust kind of effect in the air. You know, when a bit of dust catches the light in the air, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that would make sense. But dust in space, yeah, to a point, but not nearly as thick as those spotlights are making it out to be. Because fuck you, tree. I think I am happy with, minus some coloring, the base. Which is good, because we're getting up on that time. So, we're going to paint this up. And, I will be in the Discord afterwards for a bit, hanging out. So, if you guys want to join us in the, live stream after party, we'll be pretty much doing what we're doing right now, except for I won't be building live. I probably won't be building anything at all. I'll be sitting here bullshitting, listening to music, because that's what I do. We're hoping this new server for our group survival kicks ass. If it does, then we can look at it to do a community live stream. You know, just basically open it up.
It's better than our old one.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Let's just hope it, you know, works.
Yeah, good.
Well, we'll see how Friday goes. You know, if Friday looks like it's a good thing, then we'll use it for a community live stream, and you know, we'll be good there. You know. So, I mean, that's just about it. So, hey, for those of you who are just now joining, we are painting the station, or the base. I keep on calling it a station. I've been in space for so long. The ground base for our fleet. I've been on a build a fleet kick for the past, what, 3 weeks now? And, yeah. That's where we've been. Has anybody heard anything from Phoenix? Is he still alive and kicking? I haven't heard hide nor hair from him since I've been.
I've not heard from him today, but I say he was streaming yesterday, so.
Gotcha. Well, he can go ahead and try to stream to Twitch. I'm not leaving YouTube. It's too big of a pain in the ass. Because like I said, if I wanted to upload anything I live stream on Twitch to YouTube, I have to record it myself on my hard drive. Now you got a 3-hour live recording, right? Then you have to convert it to something that's not a raw format, right? That takes time.
Oh, Trent, remind me to say something on that. I made a find.
Okay.
You know, action when you record screen.
Yep.
There is a setting which means you don't need to convert it. It goes straight into Adobe Premiere or anything else you want.
Oh.
Yeah, I stumbled on that. I thought, why didn't we find that in the first place?
That might be
It
new.
was great. And
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, it's better. It's quality as well. The file size is slightly bigger, but it's better quality. You don't have to convert it, so it saves a lot of time.
That's nice. And then, yeah, you got to go through Adobe, and then you got to export it to a specific thing, and then you got to upload it, and when you've got a 5 megabits per second upload speed, that takes forever. It just ends up not being a fun process, you know. Oh, you were offline for a few days. That's makes me feel a little bit better. I thought like I scared you away or something. I doubt it. I'm being a snarky tool. If I haven't scared Eska away by now, I probably won't. Alright. That looks loads better. It can look even better. No, I didn't figure it would.
Well, you wait until Trent's putting his webcam up.
Oh yeah, that's all it's gonna take. I mean, that's it. That's all she wrote. I'm gonna put that up, and then I will lose all of my subscribers. Oh my God, that ugly troll! So, oh yeah, that looks loads better.
I just come up with a random thought then after reading Eska's comment again. Because he's not easy to scare me, I should have replied, it's a nice top you're wearing.
By the way, you're out of milk.
You get that? Yeah, but I hate milk, yes, better one. Troll found a troll.
Oh. Yep, this guy. Well, you can actually see what I look like on my channel updates I've done in the past, back when I was still working on the Lynx Corp Survival. Oh.
Yeah, how did your subscriber count handle that?
I had dropped hard. Not really, but I mean, I actually gained a couple subscribers, believe it or not.
Was that out of pity?
I was thinking either out of pity or it was a circus sideshow thing. I'm not sure, but I think that's it, guys. I think we did it. I think we've got it done. I'm not a big fan of the spotlights, I really am not, but they do the job. Oh.
I don't know what it is, but I've got a Walking Dead feeling about this area with the spotlights. You can just imagine lots of zombies in there all been collected for use later.
We have to make this a thing when Space Engineers gets more stable.
What's that, Walking Dead?
Yep, we'll have to do Walking Dead in space. You can't back out of it. It was your idea.
How does Walking Dead work in space, though? On spaceships, I guess, not in space as such.
Well, if the spaceships have, you know, gravity, you can do a zombie-apocalypse anywhere, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is a zombie apocalypse. It's nothing overly spectacular.
Just on board a very big capital ship or something.
Yeah. Do I not have a window there? I don't. The fuck? I also think we've been at this for so long that the music cut out because I went through the entire fucking rock playlist thing that I've got going here. Awesome. That tells me that we're running lower on my issues and... You know what I mean? Having less and less issues. I am going to take a look at that fast startup and disable that.
Yeah, definitely. Always fast up as well. It kind of goes against the whole point of having a nice fresh reboot. Sometimes it's just good to reboot your computer. If you're doing fast start, it's basically just like hibernating away. It's not
Yeah.
exactly the same, but it's kind of the same kind of thing.
This is true. God, I hate that light pollution that freaking the spotlights put out. Makes it very unpleasant.
You got your own lights on.
Yeah, you're right. Fix that. Unsub, dislike, time to run away. You know what? That's something I don't think I'll ever understand. Is people's desire to hit that dislike or thumb down or whatever. What's the point? If you don't like it, just don't watch it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
I think the only time when a dislike could really be warranted is if someone's content is particularly offensive or bad to the point where it should be removed.
Oh.
In which case, if a video's getting that many dislikes, then YouTube should be investigating it.
No, I don't think YouTube should do anything about it because, let's face it, if that was the case, I would not be making it for very long.
Whereas plenty of channels out there that put out a lot of rubbish, and some of that rubbish is actually quite hideously nasty, and it's got no place on the internet. And these people, unfortunately, got millions of subscribers because there's some sick people out there that like to watch this stuff. So that's the sort of stuff I meant about, you know.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of glad that I haven't run into any of that, but
it annoys me actually. I get quite a lot of suggested videos of stuff that really is stuff that shouldn't be on YouTube.
gotcha.
You know, YouTube suggests this. It's like, well, why are you suggesting this to me?
Not a clue.
Yeah, YouTube's ranking system has changed a lot over the last few years, and they keep messing up as well. It's not always reliable. The thing that really gets me about YouTube as well, about it was 2 months ago, I got myself a new chair, and I was being a cheapskate. I didn't have a lot of money, but I wanted a decent chair, and I found one going really cheap, a really smart, decent. Well, it was decent and smart when it was new. It would have been like a couple £100 or so. But I found someone said it dirt cheap. The leather was a bit tatty, so I thought I'll just recover it myself. I've got no problem getting some leather and recovering it, doing my own custom colours.
Right.
So I went to this. I found this website via Google, you know, place, you know, in England that's really good at providing stuff, and I got them to send me some free samples. Then, like a week later, every time I watch a video, every single advert is this company that I've already sent off a free sample for. And to this day, before I started this stream, it came up. Not this stream, the one video before, it came up again. I thought, yeah, I've had my sample from them. I'm going to order from them. I just haven't got around to it. Keep blinking reminded. And like, you could have already purchased from the company, and you keep getting adverts for them. And I'm thinking that isn't good use of that person's advertising, because every time that advert's shown, they're paying for it.
Yep.
It's just no good. If you already bought something from someone, they keep advertising to you. It's wasting the money.
Well, yeah.
It's not very intelligent, to be honest. So that's a gripe coming from somebody who specialises in marketing online. So,
Do you know how I handle that particular thing?
skip ad.
I don't even skip ad. I ad block.
Oh, you got the ad blocker.
Don't give a fuck. But that's also another reason why I don't have my account monetized. If I don't support other monetized videos with their ads and how they, you know, want to make their money, I have no right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In fact, Eska just made quite a good point actually. She said she dislikes videos just to let YouTube know not to show it again. That is actually how YouTube works. If you dislike a video, that particular style of video, subject, content is less likely to be shown to you again.
Gotcha.
That is how it works. Yeah, that is kind of a reason for the dislike button, I suppose.
That makes sense. Well, if it works. A cyber virus that affects a ship and its crew could be, well, okay, that's where you lose me. A cyber virus does not work on people. Just because we call it a virus doesn't mean it's actually a frickin', you know, physical thing that works on people.
Trent, I'll stop you there. A cyber virus, there is a type of virus that can go between computers and humans. It's just not very out there, but it has been developed.
No.
It's scary as anything.
That there is no virus that can go between people and computers. You're talking about a mechanical...
It's a nanovirus. It can affect living organisms as well as hardware. It's not a code virus, it's a hardware virus.
Then it's a nanomachine, and at which point, then yes. But beyond that, no. The cyber virus implies, in my mind, a computer virus, just a normal software computer virus, which cannot affect human beings. A nanomachine is not a virus. That is a nanomachine. A virus is a living organism. There's a difference.
Now, what I meant was, there's actually been not a nanomachine, on a nano scale, virus has been crazy. They call it a virus. Basically, it's an enzyme that basically eats away enzymes and also can eat away components of hardware, particularly silicon. It does some silicon, so basically it's a good way of, like, if you gas like a computer server room, you'll kill all the computers kind of thing, as well as any living organisms in it. That's the type of virus it is.
But that's not a virus. Like I said, a virus is...
Because the way it works, a virus is something that takes over a system.
A virus is made of RNA, not a protein. So what I'm saying is biologically speaking, it is still not a virus. It is an enzyme, yes, but it's not a virus. If you're going to get scientific, we got to make it sure we're being accurate about it. A virus survives and works by injecting its RNA into our DNA, taking over the cell, making the cell reproduce it instead of doing normal cell functions. That is a virus. Something that eats away, like an enzyme, specific components like or materials like silicone, carbon, stuff like that, that can affect both machine and people. That is a completely different function.
I just made a suggestion about the it's been affected. It wouldn't really happen because you'd always get out of a spacesuit, but if spacesuits got so advanced that they were completely automated by computer systems and there was no fail-safe way of getting out of them, then you could have quite a good story about being trapped in a zombified suit, so to speak. So the suit's being taken over by some zombie virus thing, or stuck inside of it, and you're being taken where it takes you, that kind of stuff. But
that would be horrible. I'm on.
Yeah.
Zombie suits. I don't think that would work for space engineer suits. These are more in line with like a NASA spacesuit than a biomechanical one.
Yeah.
But
it would be quite cool actually, wouldn't it, if you actually got the space engineers made a new one, but just take the head off of it, so it looks like it's walking around. There's no body in it. It's just walking around on its own. It'd be like a ghost.
Right. All right. I think we are there. I think we got it. I'm liking how that looks. I kind of want to see what it looks like with the sunrise, so tomorrow we can start off with, I don't know, some sort of infrastructure. We're going to have to build a ship that can haul cargo between here and up there. Also need to find a way to load this ship, because currently we don't have anything, and I did that on purpose. We don't want anything like a conveyor system set up to this landing pad and thus influence the design of the ship. We want the design of the ship to influence where the connector ports are going to go. That way we have a nice looking ship still. That is the theory anyway. So Oh. Yep. I'm digging it.
That's cool.
I'm digging it. I think it's at a point that I'm happy with. I think it could get shot to shit pretty easy by pretty much anything, but you know what? I don't care. That's not the point. You know, we'll do defense drones and we'll do, you know, a fleet for an atmosphere, fighters, and you know, that's the idea of Build a Fleet 2.0 is the atmospheric portion of Build a Fleet. Oh, that was cool. So I skipped off that ramp up front, right? You guys will see it. You guys will see it here on the live stream in a second. I skipped off that ramp and then it just goes. Now I do have a question. Am I choppy in the live stream or is it a smooth stream?
It's got choppy a bit. It's usually really smooth. Yeah, I notice it now. It is a little choppy.
Interesting. Makes me wonder.
Check your memory usage for the game to see if it's got high memory usage.
Oh, probably.
Another memory leak in the mod. In the update.
I'm using 9 gigs.
9 gigs?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty high, doesn't it? It's meant to have been sorted out.
In use, 9 gigs compressed. Yeah, committed memory of 13 gigs. That's weird.
Is that purely Space Engineers or is that everything?
I'll have to go to the resource monitor. Space Engineers is 7 gigs straight up. 8
yeah, that's pretty high.
8 gigs. Yeah. OBS is taking a gig. Skype suspended. Firefox. I still have my dynamic wallpaper going in the background too.
Yeah.
So
See, at the start of your stream it was very, very smooth, and I hadn't really noticed that it got choppy until you said it, and I realised actually, yeah, it is a bit choppy than it was at the beginning. So I think it's just a performance thing as you build in, the RAM's been used in harder, and it started to affect in general.
I think you're right.
It's just a memory problem with Space Engineers latest update, that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Part of me wants to think it's the
I mean, it's not bad. It's still better than the Phoenix streams at the moment. You just can't get to get his config right.
Well, it's because he keeps on messing with it. He was fine when you and I helped him with it.
Yeah.
You know. But his computer is a toaster, so, I mean, it is what it is. Now, Killer Clown's saying it's nice and smooth for him, so...
Well, it is smooth. It's not like something that you necessarily go, oh, it's too jerky to watch. It is smooth, but I have noticed it's not as smooth as it was at the beginning. Every now and then you'll notice the slight jerk, particularly when you're moving fast, it'll be like a frame drop or something.
Gotcha. No, I'm alright with it. Well, we are getting on the 3-hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to leave us with this beautiful view here. Come join me in Discord for the after stream party. Eska, come on. You have nothing to be shy or embarrassed about. If anybody gets on your case, I'll either let you light them up or I'll light them up for you. Either way, nobody messes with Eska. So, Discord link is in the description of the stream. We are finished, I think. Tomorrow, I think we'll either build a drop ship that can go in between, or we'll build a drone that'll orbit, or something. But, yeah, we'll go from there. Eska, until next time, you take it easy. Kill a clown. Clown. Ah, stupid lead speak. You take it easy. V9, take it easy. Thank you for joining. And, yeah, until next time, guys.